Hi guys, welcome to another video, and as I promised, I said I'm going to engage more on this channel. And on this particular video, I'm really not going to speak about the charts. I wouldn't do analysis. This is just it's more of a real life, an experiential video, which I will share my experience and just a few nuggets on my trading journey, which is about over 4 years. It's going over 5 years now. So I believe I can give just a tip. I'm still a young boy. I mean, imagine a 5-year-old boy walking and he's teaching others how to walk. But pardon me, but I think in a way I can just give some tips on things that have helped me in my journey so far, and how I think I'm beginning to see a bit of profitability. Arguably, if you want to argue with it, it's fine. At least for now, I'm not still selling a course or I'm not selling a product. I believe the markets can fund me or should fund me. And I think in another video, we'll actually take on some of those people who sell courses online. And we'll see that. Okay, someone might say I'm fortunate and that's why I'm not selling courses, but I think you really don't have to. It's funny. It's still funny to me that you're trying to teach people how to make money, and then you're trying to make money from teaching people how to make money. Something like that. I've always said it and I'll still keep on saying it. Take this anywhere. This video will be on my channel till the end of time. That you don't need to buy my course to know my trading style. The only reason why probably I would put out something there is if you need access to me, and that's just you paying to have access to me. But if you're ready to do the work and you're not my relative or someone close to me or someone who knows me, and you just find my content online and you can feed on it, and you can also engage me on social media if I can reply you, then you should actually be able to trade the same way I trade. So without much ado, let's go into why I'm shooting this video, and it's just how do you become profitable, or what are the steps, or let me put it this way, do you really think you're going to be profitable, or is the statistics in your favor? Would you be part of the, as I say, 90% of traders who fail, or you be part of the 10% who will become profitable in this market? I love to see it as a game. So just like, again, I'm a Christian, so I would speak as a believer that the fruit of the Spirit is love, and as Apostle Paul was saying in the book of Galatians. So I can say the fruit of profitability would be patience. And that's why, if you can see from my tone in this video, I'm also patiently speaking, because I believe that patience is, the greatest in this game. And, just like every other thing in life, I think patience is, you're going to study in school, and imagine, you're going to study engineering, and then you're being told it's going to take you 5 years. I remember the first day on campus, everyone was like, oh, we all look like all first class graduates the first week, and everybody's looking at their prospects when they leave school patiently, and no one went to the lecturer's office and said, sir, give me the fast way to finish my course on the third year. We all apply patience in every other aspect of our lives. But somewhere, when we come into the trading world, many people want to make it the next week because of the lifestyle they've seen. And so I'm usually grateful. I think I can post the video. It's one of the first videos I saw on Forex after I had a conversation with a friend. And the guy, he emphasized that this game is going to be a long one. So somehow, I knew that I have to be patient in my expectations. Though eventually, as a newbie, some things will kick in. But it has helped me even not to blow an account in this game. And, all through my journey. And I can say today, as at the time I'm shooting this video, I've not lost, based on all I've made, I've not lost any amount of Forex. This is not because I've not even started recuperating my expected wins. I've not gotten to where I want to be. And, but I think so far so good. I've been able to make a good amount of profits from the market and hopeful to make more. So the whole game is you have to be patient. Really, really, you have to be really patient. I don't know how to emphasize this. So let's go through just some tips. I was just having a meditation. I was meditating before this video, and I felt, okay, I think let's do this, and I just wrote some things down. So I think the very first thing they don't tell you, or they don't tell us when we get into the game of the trading world, whether it be stock, Forex, option, whatever form of trading, is that for you to make money, someone else is losing money. Now, that means it's like when you're trying to buy, someone else is trying to sell. That's just it. Because the moment you are placing a buy, it means someone somewhere is placing a sell. So the difference in the amount is it might be, is debatable really, but that's the idea. So knowing that, it means you want to try your best to know when to buy and when to sell. That's why we came to the market. We did not come here to flaunt that we have. I know I sound like I have a PhD in Forex, but I told you how I came about that name. But we didn't come here to flaunt that we are the most knowledgeable people. And so, as against other ventures in life where you have to come from a place of, oh, I'm not going to fail, I'm going to be, the best, I have to be this. No, in trading, you must accept that at some point when you try to sell, you might be wrong. So you must accept that the moment you do something, someone else is losing for you to gain. That's the first one. So once you accept that, then you know that you can never be sure that a trade will go your way. It's when it goes your way, you're like, oh, okay, I was right. Amen. Or inshallah, whichever one. Oh, okay, I was right. Then you say, oh, nice. And then you move on. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, it's part of it. And then you move on. Whichever way, things play out after a trade, you should be fine with it. So you will never don't let anyone deceive you. Yes, we draw out zones. I do too. We draw out different levels, but there's no assurance that whatever you plan to do would go your way. So eventually we would now work with statistics. So we're just working with, okay, there's a probability it would go my way. So every trade I take, I treat it as a new trade. I'm hoping it will go my way. Obviously, I'm not hoping it will go my way. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to be fine with the outcome. So I think that's as a beginner, I hope and I wish that every beginner would just try to not take my word for it. You could also test it. But eventually, if you play this video, once you get to some point of profitability, you would see that many things I'm going to be saying here is quite true. And so then the next one is, once you understand the mindset behind it, then we can now say, now you have to look for a way to tell yourself, okay, I want to buy and I want to sell. That's the whole concept of the strategy. So that should show you automatically that no strategy is superior. Every strategy would be very dependent on the person, the ideology, the amount of precision that they like. For instance, for me, I don't like drawing a support and resistance zone the way it's commonly drawn, because it's not something I can replicate without having to say, oh, I did this, or and that person will try to draw the zone and there will be a confusion. So I like things to be repeatable. Some people can draw support and resistance based on vibes and they will be good to go. So another set of people would be those who used indicators. And, for instance, if you use an indicator, pair it with a good time at a particular time to trade, you would have fabulous results. So again, every strategy would work. It just depends on how you suit that strategy or how you tweak it to suit you. And that's why you cannot remove the experience or you can't remove the subjective part of every strategy, because eventually it should work. It just depends on some things you put in place and the data you have. So now we understand that every strategy would work or should work. So that means if you're coming in, you now have to, now this is quite dicey. So there are two ways you can go about this. You can look for someone who you probably trust, that is not lying to you, that you can verify their results. And probably if they are supposedly asking you to come and pay, for me, it's a bit of a red flag. But if you feel the person is trustworthy, you could get them to, you could pay for their course or their program and learn from them. But me, I took the other way. I did not want to learn from someone or pay. So I took the hard way, which I went through YouTube. I at the point of building my strategy, I watched a lot of videos. I saw so many videos, from trend lines to ICT to different types of videos. And then I picked different part of it. And, even including someone like Raja Banks, some people believe he's not a good trader, but I still learned something from him. And I put it together to build up a little system, which I use now. And it's, at least I've been trading a prop firm account for close to 6 months now. And I've made profits for about 3 months consecutively. Everything's on Telegram. You could just join the Telegram page for free. My point is that you could get someone that you learn from, or you could just do the way I did. I built a system. Then the next thing would be, once you get the knowledge, then try to get data. Now, if the person you're learning from cannot produce data of of how they've backtested the strategy or things they've done, including their losses, it's quite painful to see many courses, many trading gurus, all they post is their wins. It's abnormal in our game for you not to see losses. So, when you gather data of the wins and the losses, that should show you confidence. So what I did was I did mine to be precise. I gathered data monthly. And so it helped me to know a lot of nuances that I could add to the strategy, or I don't want to call it strategy, to the way I trade. And, that's how I trade today. So eventually, from my own data, some people can argue this again. This is what I think has helped me so far. And if you believe in me and you feel, you can learn from me, I think this would help you. Coming to see in trading, less is more. Because looking at my strategy, I noticed, yes, we want to milk the markets during months where the strategy is working so well. But the problem with that, from the data I have, which I could just show an Excel sheet of how I gathered my data, I did not use TradeZella. I went the hard way, is that if I don't set a target in the month month where I would do badly, I would do so badly, my results would be quite so bad that I would go into negative. And the months where I would, the strategy will work so well, I could probably go into very high returns. But that would be maybe 1 or 2 months in the year. But I noticed from the data I had that if I put a target and I stick with it, there's a probability of me making a particular percentage for 60% of the time in the year. So that means out of 12 months, I could make a percentage for about 8 to 9 months or 7 months. And with that, if I increase my capital, then I will become better. So how did I get this? Again, don't forget, the fruit of trading is what? Is patience. You have to know that you must be patient to be able to put all of these pieces together. And you have to do it one at a time. Understanding the tools, MetaTrader 4, TradingView. I went as much as even understanding how to use shortcuts on some of those tools. And I think we have new tools now, DX Trader, C Trader, and all of that, which I've not really used. I just use a trade copier for my multiple accounts. But the point is, you must have patience and you must look at all of this. So you must get data. I used to tell people that a trader you are more like a data analyst, because when you have data, you can say, oh, for instance, if my system is not working for this month, I'll just smile and I'll say, okay, for this month, at least you could see some of the videos I've my breakdown videos. For this month is fine. Next month it will get better. And so whatever percentage I have that is probably in a drawdown, I know next month will get better, or next 2 months, or next 3 months. And that's how I, console myself. But that's because I have data. If I don't have data, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll be tempted to look out for another different approach, where, I will change the whole system again. And mind you, I saw some of these type of videos when I started, but, I tried to play smart. But yeah, here I am saying the same things again. So your strategy should have a target. You should know when your strategy is not working. We came here to make money, so we didn't come here to always be right. That means if we have probability on our side with the right percentage and the right risk to reward, eventually it should help you. So I'm not one to advocate for either a high risk to reward and low win rates, or a high win rate, low risk to reward. I think it's gonna be a part of what you want and how you see it, or how your discretion will build your strategy. But whichever way you do it, eventually just know that whichever way will take a lot of mental exercise. For me, I believe in having a target, and I think I take a bit of a high risk to reward. But because I don't trade often, so because I take a very high risk to reward at between 1 to 3 and 1 to 5, notice I'm calling that high because many people stay around 1.1 to 1 to 2 risk to reward. So because I'm taking that high risk to reward, I also have a control over how many times I'm trading. If I have a good risk to reward early in the month, I'm done. And that would help me to keep the profits, do other things, and also, be able to have some profit at the end of the year. So lastly, once you have done all of this, then the next thing you should be looking at is to build capital and then to stick with a routine. This is the most boring part. It becomes so boring. And that's the excuse some people give for why they go to teach, but probably that's their excuse. It's fine. But you now have to stick to that routine, and it gets a lot, it becomes so boring where you have to do those things over and over again. But you just have to increase the capital, and then you have to, show your results to people, let them see how far you've gone. So you must have a way to show your results or the progression over time. So one part, and I intentionally put this towards the end of, how to become profitable, is please try to have an alternative source of income. I can't stress this, but please try to have an alternative source of income, especially when you're starting out. I made a mistake, not a mistake, but starting out, I took a loan. I took a loan to trade. I didn't have a job at that time. And so I had to take some money from the supposed profit from the trading capital to just to sort myself. I wasn't greedy, so I didn't take so much. Just as a young Nigerian, just something to just get through the day, because I focused on it. But I was also focusing on my grad school applications and stuff, and it's played out well for me. But again, you might not try that way, or you shouldn't try that way. Try to have a job, try to have an alternative source of income, such that you can, you don't have to rely so much on your profits to lead your life or to earn a living. You need to have an alternative source of income. I dare say, even as you build your capital, I would still advise you can have alternative sources of income, which might be teaching for some people, but I don't believe that's an alternative source of income. But it could be anything. You could look out for starting a business. I believe even when you start making profits from trading, you should invest that profit into something that would give you more profit. I have my targets, and buying a supercar is not my target. It cannot be my target. Those things to me do not really matter. Someone who says because I don't have the money yet, but we'll be here together when I can pay for it, and I would not, because I don't believe it's profitable in the long run. I think there are other things I could invest in and that would be much more profitable. So find an alternative source of income while starting out. When profitable also, you could also find, try to diversify your investment. Then, as I said earlier on, patience is going to take time. All of this I'm saying will take time. I was speaking with one of my, let's say, students, someone who I'm trying to teach how I trade. It happens to be my younger brother. And, in our statement, I would say, oh, this will happen 6 months from now, about a year from now. I have a target of my portfolio size. And I was telling him, oh, this should happen about a year. And he was like, why are you planning for something this far? That's because it's the truth. You have to, I'm not saying you should not aim high, but you should aim in a realistic manner where you target the right things and you have a realistic time frame, such that, for instance, this is 2024 and I had a target. Have I met my portfolio target? Yes. Was it the way I planned it? No. During the year, I built a pattern where it would be risk-free for me. And I have quite a reasonable amount of portfolio I'm working on right now. And, I'm quite grateful for how the year has been. So I can have a good target and, pursue it well. So let me leave this. I think this is quite too long for those who might not want to listen to this dark boy speaking to you. But I think these tips I've given should actually help you to, look at trading in another perspective. It's really not as people have painted it to be, where you just come in and then you begin to make money. Some can do it, some will do it. But for those of us who want to stay in the game for very long, you have to take it step by step. I mean, to me now, when I see, I think I took a trade recently and I made about, that's my highest trade, about 10,000 in one trade, which helped me to pass an account, a prop firm account. And I did not feel anything. And I was like, oh, how come I'm not feeling anything anymore? It's just because I see it from the lens of percentages. So you must get to that stage where it's more of a percentage game than the money. It's really a percentage game. What's the percentage? How can you get this percent? Once you can set that, money becomes a number on the trading platforms. So with all of these tips, I think it should help you to begin to see Forex, options, stock, whatever form of trading you are in. It should help you to see it in another light where you are patient, you want to learn, you want to understand. Lastly, thank God for today, we now have what we call proprietary firms. So as I've said it many times, you can increase your capital by doing something minimal, and you can increase it in a very wise manner. So that's the way I'm going. Later in the future, yes, I'm going to invest for people, but I'm trying to build a model, and I think I've built it in a way that will be sustainable. Why do I want to do that? I just want to show people that you don't have to make too much return on investment, and you can make some from the market. Because of where we come from, a lot of people have bastardized the foreign exchange market. People see it as total trash, and really not so. Because because of the things they've seen in the past. So I'll leave it at that here. Again, be patient. Your patience will help you to build your strategy. Probably we'll speak more about how to build a strategy in another video, where we'll talk about some very key things in building a strategy, how to have your stop loss, your take profits, how to have all of those things, the way I built my strategy so that you can track the data. I know this will go against Nick Sean and his strategy, and that's him. He's a peculiar human. For those who do I'm trying to remember where, you know, they keep on adding on trades when they're in a loss. I think it's the dollar, whatever. It's the dollar. I don't know how I've forgotten the term. The dollar, whatever, you know, where you keep on adding on your losses. Yes, that could be a style of trading, but to me, I don't think that's sustainable in the long run. Though I think he's been doing it and it's working for him. God bless him and the way he trades. But if I'm going to teach how to build a strategy, I think I'll build it. I'll teach in a different way, such that it can build sustainability. So with these few points, I believe you should be part of the 10% who will be profitable in this game. To the next video, I believe, you know, we all will make it and will, you know, have some form of returns as we patiently look forward to our goal and try to attain it. Have a blessed week, weekend, whichever. Bye.